What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will be reacting to Kyle Busch and the Daytona 500. Now, I feel like this video was requested quite a while back, but I'm finally getting around to doing it. I literally have like 100 plus tabs open of all of these requests that you guys have given me, but it's okay because I'm off from work for a bit now, so I've got loads of time to get through all of these requests before and after Christmas. So that is what I'm going to be doing. And we're going to start with this video. I don't know what it's going to be about apart from the Daytona 500 and obviously Kyle Busch, but I don't know what it means, what the video is going to show me. I'm looking forward to getting into it, so I'm just going to shut up and we're going to get straight into it.
February 19th, 2023. Kyle Busch is running his 18th Daytona 500. And
18th.
He's doing something he's only done
That's
once
quite
before.
a few.
Lead the Great American Race with less than 5 laps to go. The frantic pack racing of earlier in the day has subsided, and the front of the field is settled into a single file line. If this race goes green to the end, Kyle is going to win the 500 for the first time.
Wow.
Of course,
Oh, so
Daytona
he's
is
done.
rarely that
He
simple.
started it 18 times from when this video was made, and he hadn't won it once. That's crazy.
Two Chevrolets behind you. Getting stacked up on the inside. Not at all. Here comes Stenhouse. Big shove by Larson.
Oh my, there's a big one.
Crash at turn 3.
Kyle Busch has won 63 Cup Series races in his career, good for
Wow.
9th on the all-time wins list. Let's take a look at
I
the
did
rest
not
of the
know
top
that.
10 and how they fared in this race. Richard Petty is the Cup Series winningest driver of all time, and he won 7 Daytona 500s. David Pearson is second, he won 1. Third is Jeff Gordon, he won 3. Bobby Allison and Darrell Waltrip are tied for 4th, they won 3 and 1 respectively. Jimmy Johnson and Cale Yarborough are tied for 6th, Jimmy won 2 and Cale won 4. Dale Earnhardt in 8th famously won 1 in 1998,
Yep.
and Kevin Harvick, behind Kyle in 10th, won 1. Of this elite group of drivers, only Kyle Busch is without a Harley J. Earl trophy. Why has Kyle Busch, in what is now 19 attempts, never won the Daytona 500?
19 attempts.
Who did win these races, and what are they doing differently? And will Kyle ever win this race?
Sometimes I think like you could be
Let's
doing
go back
something
to
different, but also it's the
2005,
Daytona
Kyle's
500,
first Daytona
and
500.
part of it
At
has to be
this
luck
point,
at the end of the
he's a teenage
day.
rookie with just 6 Cup starts under his belt. Nobody's expecting him to win. His performance reflects this. A 38th place finish after getting caught up in a wreck somebody else
38th
caused.
place finish.
A year later, he's a 2-time Cup winner coming off a 20th place points finish.
Wow.
His sophomore 500 goes far better than his first. 23rd place, sure, but it's a lead lap finish this time, and he even took the lead of the race midway through. Unfortunately, his big moment was overshadowed on the broadcast by Matt Kenseth being mad as hell after Tony Stewart spun him a few laps earlier. In 2007, Kyle's been up front all day, but the race has been dominated by Tony Stewart and Kyle's brother Kurt. Kyle's and the rest of the field's only hope is that they somehow take each other out of contention.
There goes Tony.
Oh,
my goodness.
Now it's on. Kyle inherits the lead after the crash, but he loses it on pit road.
Oh,
By the
no.
time the final restart rolls around, he hasn't led again, but he's hung on enough to be in second place behind Mark Martin. It's Mark's 23rd Daytona 500 start, and he's looking at his first
23rd.
Daytona 500 win and second ever win at the track. His first coming in a truck
That's
race a
insane.
year
I
ago.
want to know who's got
Coming
like
into turn
which
3,
NASCAR
Kevin
driver
Harvick
has
and
the
Matt
most
Kenseth moved to the
starts
outside.
at the
By the white
Daytona
flag,
500.
The outside line is fully established, and it's coming. On the backstretch, 2 things happen. David Gilliland tries to get ahead of Kevin Harvick in the outside lane, but Harvick and Kenseth go all the way to the wall to get past him. At the same time, Kyle fakes high and goes low on Martin, but Mark blocks him all the way to the yellow line. Now, the only way Kyle can win is if he somehow gets ahead of Harvick. He has to cross
Does he
the
do that?
entirety of the racing surface thanks to Gilliland's move, and it's too late. Harvick is alongside him. As he goes past, Kyle's chances of winning the Daytona 500 in his 3rd start have vanished completely.
Oh,
His misery's not
that's
over.
got to be so annoying
Coming
as
out
well
of
if you
turn
keep
4,
getting
his
so
car glances
close
the
and
apron
then it
breaks
just
loose.
never
In the
happens.
future, he'll be able to save him when this sort of thing happens, but not here. Not as a 21-year-old hotshot. He tags Matt Kenseth as his car fully goes around and sets in motion the fireworks that would serve as the backdrop for Martin and Harvick's iconic photo finish.
Oh, it's that finish. I have seen that one before.
In 2008, everything has changed for Kyle Busch. He's
Okay.
driving a new car with a new number and a new sponsor and a new engine for a new team. It's obvious from the jump that Joe Gibbs Racing is a good fit for Kyle, as he leads 86 laps in the 500.
Wow.
A new team comes with new teammates, and he's now paired up with one of the men who dominated the first 3/4 of last year's race, Tony Stewart. It's Stewart's 10th 500, and he's also looking to win for the first time. In fact, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the only driver in the top 10 right now who's won this race before.
Wow.
On the restart with 3 laps to go, Kyle jumps to Jeff Burton's inside right away.
That's crazy. That's
He's got
what makes
Dale
me
Jr.
think it's
behind him,
got part
and
of it has
his
got
teammate
to be
the
just
outside.
luck.
The inside line doesn't develop, and Kyle has to get in line in 4th place behind his older brother Kurt. Casey Kane forces Kyle low on the backstretch, and he's now 5th, falling away from the lead just as quickly as he took it. With 2 to go, Mike Joy says something about Tony Stewart that will come to define both Stewart and Kyle Busch.
This is Tony Stewart's 10th Daytona 500, and already people are lining up saying, are you ever going to win it?
Finally, the inside line develops, and Kyle is back. Newman
That's
and
so
Stewart
sad
move
if
down
that's
the block,
what
and
you
Kyle
get
pushes
known
the 2 of them
for.
clear of Kurt on the outside. Unfortunately, this allows the 2 Penske teammates to link up. Kurt pushes Newman down the backstretch as Stewart moves low in the hopes that Kyle will do the same. Both Busch brothers are now pawns trying to secure the victory for their team. But the momentum only comes for one of them.
Ryan Newman, Roger Penske, win the Daytona 500.
Way to go, guys. Way to go.
In 2009, Kyle has another rocket ship. He starts 3rd, and within 3 laps he takes the lead from an old 500 foe driving his old car. He holds on to the lead for 50 laps before Dale Jr. passes him. Kyle falls to 3rd behind Tony Stewart, who's left
love
JGR
the
behind
M&M
to start
paint
his own
scheme.
team. Tony's replacement, Joey Logano, crashes on lap 77.
Oh.
Kyle takes the lead on the ensuing pit cycle and sets sail once again. With 82 laps to go, David Stramey blows a tire and brings out the yellow once again. This time, Kyle drops 2 places on pit road,
Oh, no.
placing him in the worst position possible for what's about to happen on the restart.
And all of those
This is
cars
not
are
good.
cars that had made green flag
scared.
stops prior to that caution. Boy, Brian Vickers, Dale Earnhardt Jr. That
Oh.
Vickers hard. Here we go. Busch, the dominant car of the day, in the wall.
Oh, that's so depressing.
Car sliding, slamming into the infield.
Jimmy Johnson, totally uncalled for. Totally.
I don't care who you are. That's what you're
There's like moments like
Once
that as
again,
well. It's not
he's
even your
caught
fault
up
that
in
you lost
somebody
it there.
else's mess.
It's just so
2 years in a row
irritating.
of leading the most laps and 2 years of nothing to show for it.
Oh.
2010 doesn't bring much fanfare for Kyle. He leads 3 laps midway through the race and doesn't get involved in any wrecks, and on the green-white checker restart he's 7th, directly behind his teammate Denny Hamlin. But the inside line stacks up in turns 1 and 2, and a crash behind them means they'll restart again from further back. Kyle ends his 6th Daytona 500 in 14th place. 2011 brought fresh pavement and a brand new racing style at Daytona. Tandem drafting allows 2 cars to pull away from the pack by forming a 2-car bump draft. However, keeping this momentum up requires the bump draft to continue in the turns. If these bumps in the corners aren't handled with the utmost care, they're almost guaranteed to cause a wreck. Early
Oh no,
on,
is that what
Kyle
happened?
finds this out
Did
the
they
hard
cause a
way.
wreck? Yep. Oh. That's so
He'll
sad.
battle back to finish 9th, but never really contends for the win. 2012 feels much like 2011 as Kyle once again leads 0 laps. With 5 to go, he's pushed by his teammate Joey Logano and alongside his old teammate Tony Stewart. Logano makes contact with Ricky Stenhouse, who hits Stewart, who tags Kyle on his way around.
Oh. Really?
With just over 50 laps to go in 2013, it looks like Joe Gibbs Racing has figured it out. Their 3 cars are running in the top 3 positions. Everything's coming up Toyota until it suddenly isn't.
Because a lot of Kansas car is smoking now. I saw that earlier going into turn 3, Larry. I know there was speed.
And Darrell, a lot of it looks like it's coming out of the left front wheel area.
Oh, yeah, look.
There it is. As Kenseth drops to the bottom. But his 2 Joe Gibbs teammates are now 1-2. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch has worked his way back to the front.
With the way his car's been running,
He's got
Kyle's
close.
got a shot at the win as long as it holds together.
And
Yeah.
here comes Kyle Busch to pit road.
He just started smoking.
Kenseth's teammate.
What? Oh, that's so unlucky.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle led some laps early in 2014 and was in the fight for the win towards the end.
Oh, wow.
Coming to the white flag, he's in 4th place, but once again, contact with Ricky Stenhouse takes him out of contention. On the last lap, he once
This just
again
gets more and
becomes
more
the backdrop
disappointing,
of the
doesn't it?
finish.
Oh, no.
Looking at Kyle Busch's 2015 from afar, it seems to be a dream. 5 wins in his first championship. Without looking directly at the race results, one might assume that the motivating factor that won him the title was a victory in the Great American Race. A closer look, however, reveals he didn't even get to start.
Back across the field.
What?
The big one, part 2 at Daytona.
Oh.
Can't do this.
Oh, there's a fire.
Kyle Busch will have to wait another year to make his 11th attempt at the Daytona 500.
No.
2016 feels a lot like 2013 for the Joe Gibbs camp, but this time the engines are tuned to perfection. Matt Kenseth has led the last 40 laps, and all of the Gibbs-affiliated entrants are in the top 5.
You know what? I'm watching Hamlin. I just think he might be the one guy that tries to spoil his party. He keeps looking to the outside of Kyle.
Always give it to Denny Hamlin to spoil the party.
On the last lap, Denny Hamlin jumps high. Kyle doesn't go with him.
He's getting a big push. He's getting a big push.
He's coming. He's
Oh,
up
no.
to second.
Hamlin a second. Up high.
Oh, my.
Inside Martin Truex Jr. 3 wide.
Oh, my God.
No, Red.
Kansas saves it. Here they come to the line.
I thought he was going to wreck them.
To the Daytona 500. Side by side, bouncing off each other.
Who got that?
Once again, Kyle has a fast car in 2017. He's led 18 laps by the halfway point. Pit strategy has sent him and the rest of the Toyota pack to the tail end of the lead lap, but once the cycle is complete, they'll be right back in it. Kyle's tire has other ideas.
Whoa, Kyle.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Dale Jr. got involved.
Oh, Junior's in it.
Just when you think he might get close.
At the end of the day, Kurt takes the checkered flag. It was his 16th attempt. Despite being level on championships and Kyle nearly doubling Kurt's total wins, Kurt now has the one trophy that has eluded Kyle his entire career.
Oh, I got chills.
2018 was a dismal 500 for Kyle. His tire would come apart twice in the first stage of the race, once to take him out of contention early, and again to remove all doubt. He would finish the race last of the cars still on track, 4 laps
Last.
down. 2019 was a completely different story. Kyle's been at the front all day. With 10 laps to go, he passes Denny Hamlin for the lead as the big one happens behind them, and this time, it's the backdrop for him. On the restart, it's neck and neck between Kyle and Denny.
he's so
until
close to
Clint
winning
Bowyer
it.
dissolves the bottom lane.
2 rows back, 3 rows back. Oh, Bowyer gets
Oh,
turned.
my.
Looked to me like he came up just a little bit too early on McDowell.
Denny Hamlin was ahead by a nose when the caution came out. In overtime, he never looks back.
No, side by side battle to the finish.
Oh, that's
this
got to be
time.
so
Denny Hamlin wins his second
gut-wrenching
Daytona
if you
500
get so
and wins
close.
it for Coach Gibbs in Toyota.
Second place.
Get so far away.
Kyle's best Daytona finish in his 14th start. A familiar fate befalls Kyle in 2020. He's leading with 20 laps to go when his engine lets go. A 34th place finish, one of his worst.
Oh.
In 2021, he's in the lead pack on the final lap when he's caught up in someone else's wreck once again.
No.
In 2022, he leads laps early and stays by the front to the end, but the run doesn't come until far too late. He slams the wall as he and Chase Briscoe do everything in their power to gain whatever positions they can. All of this is starting to feel repetitive. Pick a way to lose this race and Kyle's probably done it at least twice. Hell, he's even had tire failures in turns 3 and 4 while running outside the main pack on 2 separate occasions.
That's ridiculous.
Something has to change.
Yeah.
And that's how we find ourselves back in 2023.
Oh, no.
2024 is far more similar to 2 years ago than 1 year ago. Kyle leads intermittently, but never for more than 5 laps at a time. Once again, he's near the front towards the end, but not at the front. The checkered flag waves for William Byron, and for the 19th time, Lady Luck has dealt a bad hand.
That's so
I
depressing.
compiled a list of every Cup Series driver with at least 19 starts in the Daytona 500, with
Okay.
a baseline caveat of having at least 10 Cup Series wins. These drivers are, in ascending amount of wins, Sterling Marlin, Ryan Newman, Jeff Bodine, Buddy Baker, Penny Parsons, Bobby Labonte,
Quite a
Jeff
few.
Burton, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Dale Jarrett, Kurt Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Rusty Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch,
That's a
Dale
lot.
Earnhardt, Cale Yarborough, Jimmy Johnson, Darrell Waltrip, Bobby Allison, Jeff Gordon, David Pearson, and Richard Petty.
Ugh.
Of these drivers, only one has scored his first 500 victory after 19 or more starts.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration.
Oh, Dale Earnhardt. I heard the 20 years of frustration. I was like, yeah, that's Dale.
Finally.
This is the latest into a career that any driver has ever won his first 500. Kyle could tie that record if he wins in 2025, and after that, he'll fall into uncharted territory.
Oh no.
Remember this quote from Mike Joy back in 2008?
This is Tony Stewart's 10th Daytona 500, and already people are lining up saying, are you ever going to win it?
The answer to that question was ultimately no. Tony Stewart never won the Daytona 500. Neither did Mark Martin.
Oh no.
Terry Labonte, the two-time champion that Kyle replaced in his rookie year,
32 Daytona
never won
500 starts.
His brother Bobby, whose famous Joe Gibbs 18 Kyle took over in 2008, also never won. These are NASCAR icons, legends, some with multiple championships. And none of them won the 500. Kyle Busch has publicly stated that his dream career path would see him race until 2030, when his son Brexton is 15 years old. If this stays true, he's got 6 more shots at the Great American Race.
I was going to say, he's still got a few years to come.
I think that if anyone can win it after 20 times, it's Kyle. The reason I say this is his age. Dale Earnhardt was 46 years old when he won the 500 in his
46, and you're winning the Daytona
was
500. That's
when he
crazy.
won in his 17th attempt. When Kyle Busch straps into his car in February for his 20th Daytona 500, he'll be just 39. In 2030,
he's still quite
he'll be
young
44. So far, 2024 has been Kyle Busch's worst season to date, epitomized by the Daytona summer race.
Yeah, he
half
didn't
lap
have a
from
very good
victory,
season.
his first of the season, when Harrison Burton, the statistical worst full-time driver of the year, received a huge push and won the race. The reason I bring this up is that Kyle has seemed almost broken and demoralized this year. If he doesn't bounce back from this,
Busch era
he might
coming
not stick
to a
around
close.
for 6 more 500s. Since his switch to Richard Childress Racing, Kyle's been receiving noticeably less boos at the track. As he becomes an elder statesman of the Cup Series, many fans have grown to respect him. Still, his checkered past on the racetrack has earned him plenty of detractors that are unlikely to ever forgive him.
Well, that was crazy. I did not know that he keeps getting so close and like he hasn't won it yet. Obviously this season in itself, he had a terrible season. Every race I was watching it on, I was like live streaming it, and I would say, oh my god, he has like the worst luck in the world. And now watching this video, I'm like, oh yeah, he does. Some of those were just unfortunate though, like getting involved in other people's wrecks. That's not on you at the end of the day, that you're just involved in another person's wreck. Do you think like winning the Daytona 500, obviously you have to be good at driving and like skill, blah 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 blah, but part of it has got to be luck at the end of the day, because you've got to like just hope that you're not involved in one of the big wrecks. But I have faith that he could win the Daytona 500. It's not like he's like at the back all the time. He has been at the front for most laps in a lot of those attempts. So he keeps getting really close to winning it, and then so close but so far away. So I feel like he could, if he stays in NASCAR until 2030, like he mentioned there, he's got another 6 years to do it. I have faith that in one of those years he will win the Daytona 500. But that was a very good video. So with that being said, if you have any other videos that you'd like me to react to, drop them in the comments. I'm working my way through everybody's suggestions at the moment. If you did want to check out any of my other socials or become a Patreon member and get early access to videos like this or top priority over your suggestions, then you can do all of that down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's reaction, and I will catch you next time for the next one. Bye!